The topic is the various DML language. So these are the various commands like load, select, insert, delete, update, import and export. These are the two commands which are also fall under the category of data manipulation, because here we will basically move the data out of Hive or into the Hive from outside. Right? So these two are also the part of this data manipulation commands. One by one, we will discuss all these commands. First command is the load command. Right? So the load command or the statement in Hive is basically used to move data files into the location into from the location into the Hive tables. Right? So if you have a CSV file or some other format file, you can move that file into a table which is already there in Hive. So already existing table, we can move data from the CSV files into the table. Right. So this is the command for that load command. So it is to use to move data from files into Hive table. And so some of these commands we will try today also. There are different variations of this command. Like here we can see the basic syntax is we have to say load data in path. Here we have to specify the path of your file which is residing on your local file system, right, on your system. Then overwrite is again an optional keyword into the table. Now this is again the part of the command. So load data in path, we have to specify the path from where you have to where your file actually is, which you would like to move into the table. So that is the path of that file. Then override is again optional. Then into table, the name of the table. Here comes the name of the table in which you would like to move. And if you have any partitions, then you can specify the partitions also. Today I will show you how to create partitions in case of Hive. Fine. So we will have some demonstration of that also. There are two types of partitions. One is the static and second is dynamic. How they are different in case of Hive, that I will discuss today at the end of this lecture. Fine. So this is the general format of load command, where we have some data in the form of some CSV files. We would like to move the data into the Hive tables. Then we can use this command. Right. Now here local keyword is, if you specify this local keyword, which is optional, then load command will look for the file path in the local file system. Right. So if you specify local, that means you want to transfer the data which is there in the file which is stored in the local file system into the Hive table. So if you specify this, then I will look for that file. So that file should be specified here with the help of file path. Right. So if you skip this, then I will need the absolute URI of the file where that file is. Right. So in this overwrite is keyword is again a keyword override. If you specify override, then the contents of the target table means the table which is already there in the Hive will be deleted and replaced by the file referred in this format here. Right. So the file which you would like to copy, or you would like to the data which is stored in the file to move into the table. And if you specified override, then what it will do, it will override the existing data which is already there in the table, and it will generate the new table with the new data which you have moved from the file to the table. And so this is the purpose of this override. If you don't write override, if you skip this, right, so this is optional. That means by default, when you move data from the file into the Hive table, it will append the data. It will not overwrite it, but it will append the data. Right? So the override, if you skip override, it will append it. If you write override, it will delete the data. Right? So if override specified is specified, Then what it will do? It will delete the existing data and replace with new data and replace it with new data. Right? So if you specify override, otherwise it appends the data. Right? So this is the purpose of this override. So and this next command is the select command. Right? So the select command, as we have already know it from the background of our SQL experience, that it is used to query the data tables. Right? So this is the general format of this: select column names from table name. Suppose you want to select few columns from the table, then you can specify those columns here. But actually the correct, if I write the complete syntax of this select command here, then select all or distinct. Right? Then select expressions or the column names, whatever you would like to write here, from table name. Fine. Then additionally we can write where. Here we can write condition. Fine. Select column all or distinct. These are the keyword. These are the optional part. We can write star also. Select star from this, or we can select some column names from table name where. Let's say there is a data. There is a table which stores the data of the students of a college. So we have data field named branch. So where branch is equals to IT, we can specify here. So it will display all the things, all the records which belongs to that. So conditions we can specify here. So this is not a new thing. This is just a SQL I'm discussing. Then we have group by. Here we can specify the group by also. Then having. Fine. So then order by. Then limit. And so these all are the keywords which we can add into the select command to make a very comprehensive, or if you would like to have a crisp data out of the table with some values specified as per the conditions, then you can expand this select command by including all these keywords. So all those scale, the keywords which are in the scale are the optional part. Right? So this way we can query the tables from the Hive. And next is the insert command. Now insert command is basically used to insert records or the data into the Hive table. Fine. So there are different variations of this: insert into, insert override, insert values. Fine. So one by one I will discuss all this. So the purpose of this insert command is Hive is to load data into the Hive table. So it used to load data into Hive tables. Right, so this is the basic purpose of this command. So we can insert in different ways. Like first is the insert into. Right. So here this command basically it will insert into table. This is the part of the command. We have to write this. Then the name of the table is also we have to specify in which Hive table we would like to insert. Then partition key is optional. We can specify it or we can skip it. Then select statement. Fine. Then select statement from, then from statement. Right. For example, if I am having two tables, one is student and second is student CSC. I would like to create a new table, student CSE. Fine. So what I can do, I can insert the data which is already there in the student table by specifying the fields or the query here and insert only the students who belongs to CSE into this new table. Right. So suppose this is student CSE and this is my student table. And this student table contains the record of all the students of, let's say, engineering branch, all the engineering branches. So what I would like to do is I would like to create a new table. So first of all, I have to create this table. And then after creating that table, I will specify this command in which I will query the student table and pick the students who belongs to CSC by writing the query here and move the data into this new table. Fine. So this way we can insert data from one table to the another table in case of Hive by using this insert into command. Clear? The second, now this what it will happen, this statement does, it basically appends the data. So if let's say we have some data already there in the student CSE table and we have first applied this student into command and copied some of the data from student to student CSE. Now we have again uploaded inserted few records of CSE student in this master table. Now again I want to move those students to CSE student branch. So again I can apply. So what it will do, it will basically append all those data into the existing table. Right? So this command insert into, it will append the data into the it will append the data into the existing table. Fine. The second is insert override. Insert override, what it will do, as its name suggests, it will override the existing data. It will override the existing data. Syntax is almost same. Instead of writing insert into, we will write insert override, then the name of the table. Here the name of the table in which you would like to override, then rest of all is same. Right. So suppose the same example I will take again. So if you have student CSE of previous batch, let's say the data of the previous batch, and you have new data of the students in this student master table who belongs to CSE. Now you would, what you would like to do, you would like to create this, you would like to remove all the records from this table by inserting new records from the student table. So you can apply this, because if you write student into, it will append it. I don't want to append the data records into the table, but I would like to overwrite it. So you can apply this insert override statement over here to basically uh, remove the records and then insert the new records. Fine. Third is insert value. Now this one we all are familiar with, because here we know how to insert data into the SQL tables by using the insert command. So simple structure is there, command is there, insert into table, the table name. Now instead of writing the select statement from this query part here, where I am taking data from some other table and then moving into the new table, here I will write values. Then value wise, value row 1, value row 2, value row 3, how many records you would like to enter. Fine. So in that way we can enter records into this, and if you have multiple, then if you would like to create multiple rows or the records, then we can separate them by putting into parentheses. Fine. The first record, then the second record, and so on, and terminated by semicolon. Fine. So this is the termination criteria for every command in Hive. Right. So there are three variations of this insert command that we can use to insert records into the Hive tables. Either we can create a new table by inserting new records, or we can have an existing table and we would like to populate the new table from the existing table. Then we can use the first two variations of this insert command. The next is the delete command. And so delete is also very similar to our SQL command. So this command, what it does, it basically deletes the table data. Fine. So here we can also specify this where clause. Delete from table name where this. Okay. So if you specify this clause, it deletes the rows that satisfies the condition in the where clause. That is, I think everybody knows about this. So I'm not going into the detail of this particular command because that is similar to the SQL. Similarly, we have update command also. Right. So it is basically used to perform updates on the Hive table. Right. Uh, Here we can specify, this is the command to specify this update, the name of the table, and then what you would like to update. Here we will specify that by using set. Right. So set column values. If you have multiple columns to set the values, then you can specify this, or if you have some condition on the basis of which you would like to update the records of the records in the particular in the table of a particular conditions, particular records fulfilling this particular condition, right? So then we can use this where clause, and this is again very much similar to the SQL commands. Right? Then we have these two commands, export and import. Right? Now, export command exports the table or partition. And today we will see what is the purpose of this partition, also how we can export the partition data, because when we go with the partitions, it will create a new entity into the tables, so that we can also export. So exports the table or partition data along with the metadata to the specified location. In HDFS. So this is the purpose of this command, export command. So it will export the table or partitions data along with the metadata to the specified location in HDFS. So the syntax is export table, the name of the table or the partition you would like to transfer. So this is optional part. So export table, the name of the table to, this is the target file where you would like to move that folder. Then replication ID is again optional part. If you have multiple replicas, then you can also export all those replicas by specifying their IDs by using this particular syntax of the command. Right? So this is the export command. Similarly, we have an import command also. The purpose of this command is the data. This import command imports the data from a specified location to a new table or already existing table. Right. So this is the purpose of this import command. The syntax is again very easy to understand. So import table. So you know what is the purpose of this external, because in the previous classes I have discussed that there are two kinds of tables One is the internal table and second is the external table. Internal tables are managed by the Hive, so external table we have to do all those things because that is not the part of the Hive's warehouse directory. So we can also import an external table. Fine. So this is a optional part. So import table, new or original table name from the source path and the location. Right. So import the data from a specified location to a new table or an already existing table. So new or original table name, this will come here. So original table here means existing table. Right. So if you have don't have a table which is already there, you can specify name here. If it is already existing, then it will basically import the data into that table. Fine. So from where you would like to import and what is the location of the table where you would like to save the data, and that location we can specify by using this command. So that is again optional. By default it will store in the home directory. Right. So this way we can use these commands. Right. So now I will move to the demonstration part of some of these commands. Right.